Hey, I'm Dr. Jason Won, lifestyle physical therapist. Today we're going to go through the top 5 dumbbell strength exercises for neck pain. So why we are doing this is so that we can help strengthen the muscles, gain better endurance to get long-term pain relief. So if you're new here, welcome in. Please subscribe and support this channel so you don't miss out on any new content. We post videos every week, Mondays at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Now, before we dive into our top 5 neck pain relief strength exercises, let me show you 2 things that may not work for you long-term. The first one is what we call passive modalities. This may be things that you might have tried, like medication, manual therapy, even massage. And don't get me wrong, these things are very helpful, sometimes in the short term, but if you want long-term relief, being able to bulletproof your neck so you can reduce the chances of injuries, you may not rely on things that simply just have somebody's hands massaging your neck and expect that your neck is going to feel better. It's simply just going to get injured again if you're not going to build capacity. And the second thing that doesn't work, which comes usually with traditional physical therapy clinics, are oftentimes stretches. You'll oftentimes see very typical exercises like chin tucks, or you'll even see your upper trap, or even kind of smelling your armpit like that. And I think that the reason why these exercises don't work is because, one, when you stretch muscles, they oftentimes, when you stretch it for long periods of time, they oftentimes feel weaker. And in the long run, if you want better endurance just sitting at your work, if you want to be able to play with your kids, or even be able to pick up things without straining your neck, you need to incorporate dumbbell strengthening exercises. So let's dive into that now. So the 5 exercises we're going to do with our neck is we're going to be using dumbbells. And these dumbbells are specifically from TrueLap. I think that these are some of the top ones on the market because it literally has 26 dumbbells built into one. They come in usually 55-pound adjustments, but also 92 pounds, so they're very scalable. And they also come in very small form factors. So if you're at home, you don't have a lot of space, this is the perfect set of dumbbells. So go to flexordrj.online/TrueLap. You can use my code DrJasonWonPT for 10% off. All right, so let's dive into our first exercise. All right, so our very first exercise, one of my favorite ones, is simply just a dumbbell shrug. They're extremely easy to do, not complex, and most people can do this from the comfort of their home. And so we're just simply moving our shoulders all the way down towards the floor and all the way up towards our ear while kind of forcing our head down. I think this is one of the most effective exercises because we are engaging some of the largest muscles that attach to our neck, which is the upper trapezius. And contrary to belief, when people are saying that you're utilizing your upper traps too much, we want to turn them off. Believe me, you don't want to turn them off because if you do, you're going to be left with a neck that oftentimes is more prone to injuries. So you're going to be doing this one for about 3 sets of about 8 to 12 repetitions. My second exercise, which I think is one of my all-time favorites, especially if you have more one-sided pain and you have either pain side bending or even rotating your neck, is called the Dumbbell Windmill. All you need is 1 dumbbell, and what we're going to do is pick a weight that you can tolerate being able to hold the weight overhead for at least 30 to 60 seconds. So this, I have a 15-pounder. You're gonna lift up the weight and you're gonna make sure your eyes stay on the dumbbell. Now you're going to spread out your legs, and what you're gonna try to do is either 1, try to reach for the floor, like so, or what you can try to do is try to get the elbow inside of your knee. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to improve overhead stability, we're trying to improve neck rotation to the right side, and we're also improving what we call upper back or thoracic rotation to the right. So when you improve shoulder stability and also upper back and neck rotation all at the same time, you get a very good exercise in order to relieve all that neck pain on your right side. So you're gonna do this for about 2 sets of just 8 to 10 repetitions. Our third exercise is a classic one. It is the dumbbell lateral raise. I think that many people demonize this exercise because when you're raising up, you oftentimes will see the upper trap engage. But like I said, that is a myth. You want to be able to engage not just scapular upward rotation, also strengthening your middle deltoid, but you want to strengthen your upper traps as well. And this is something that I did personally in order to relieve my own chronic neck and back issues. So the way that you situate this exercise, many people think that you just simply go out to the side. But that actually can pinch up your shoulders because you're not staying in what we call the scapular plane, where our shoulder blades actually sit in more of a 15 to 20 degree angle forward. So when we do that, we're going to keep a slight bend in our elbows. Make sure you squeeze the weights really tight, and you're going to raise it up again 15 to 20 degrees out to the side. This one here is pretty variable. You can do this for about 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps, but however, you can do this for endurance as well, where you kind of hit that 12 to 20 range in order to build up, again, middle deltoid strength, scapular upward rotation, and upper trap resilience. All right, our fourth exercise is gonna get a little creative. We either call this the single arm plank row or the dumbbell renegade row. I'm gonna show you 2 variations. The first one's gonna be a little bit easier. What we're gonna do is assume a tall plank position where our hand is down on the floor, and we're gonna assume a pretty wide stance with our feet. Then the next thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna grab the dumbbell and we're gonna row not up towards the ceiling, but we're gonna kind of row the elbow into our pockets. So the reason why this exercise is so effective is because we're working on single arm closed chain stability on the left arm, while we're also working the lats on the opposite side. Not just that, we're working on anti-core rotation, and also our neck is getting a good amount of stress as we're holding up our head against gravity. And this is a very common thing that when we have pain while sitting at our desk, we oftentimes will lack some endurance. So this is a great exercise to work on a lot of things all at once. You're gonna do this for about 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions. The dumbbell renegade row, not very different. We're gonna simply just grab 2 dumbbells at the same time, assume a wide stance, put some weight through your dumbbells, and we're gonna simply row and then bring it to the opposite side. So now we're working on both at the same time. And again, we're gonna do about 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps each side. Our last and final exercise is called the Dumbbell High Row. And again, contrary to belief, many people think that as they're doing this, they're pinching up on their shoulders, but if doing it correctly, this can be a very effective exercise to reduce your neck pain pretty quickly. So the way the setup is, you're gonna put it at either at a slight angle or just slightly forward in front of you. So imagine your pockets are directly in front. Then you're gonna assume a tall posture, lift up your chest towards the ceiling, and you're gonna bring your elbows slightly higher than your shoulders and row it towards the ceiling. So this exercise is meant to directly isolate not just the upper trapezius like we did before, but also it works a lot harder on scapular upward rotation. So you're not just pulling the weights up, you're trying to actually elevate your elbows, but also shrug at the same time. And as you do this properly, you'll notice that your neck muscles are working pretty hard, but they're gonna feel a lot better in the long run. So do this one for about 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions. So there are 2 things that I want you to know before initiating this type of exercise program. One is absolute consistency. Now there are gonna be no long-term results unless you're actually consistent. So if you do this exercise program just one time, and let's say you start to get fearful, let's say you start to feel your neck muscles feel a little bit sore, guess what? As you do squat, you're gonna notice your quads are sore. If you do bicep curls, you're gonna notice that your biceps are sore. In the same fashion, even if you've had either acute pain or even chronic neck pain, you don't wanna get fearful of loading your neck muscles in the same way that you would load up any other muscles in the body in order to get it stronger and more resilient. So consistency is number 1. Number 2 is to make sure you choose the right weight. Now this is very key, because what I always say to all of my clients is that it's the dosage that makes the poison. So it's not the exercise that would flare you up, and maybe you've had some negative experience with exercise, but really it's about how you calculate and provide the right dosage that will allow for strength adaptations versus injury and tension after the exercise. So what I always say to try to simplify it is when you get to my recommended rep range, you should be feeling like the movement is slowing down, or you might notice that the muscles are starting to burn a bit. That might be a good starting point. And then therefore, as you get stronger and you are consistent, so let's say about 2 to 3 days a week of doing this strength training routine, then you're going to slowly increase the volume, which is repetitions, and then slowly increase the weight accordingly. So that's what I got for you guys today. I really hope that the 5 neck pain relief exercises, specifically strength training versus doing other things like stretching and manual therapy, can hopefully provide that long-term relief that you're looking for. Now, if you have any questions or any feedback, comment below, but also subscribe. We are trying to get to 5,000 followers. And pretty much we want to make sure that we're providing as much value to you guys. So again, we post every Wednesday at 7 a.m. And also PS, if you are interested in applying for any direct coaching, you want custom programming, looking at strength, mobility, even nutritional guidance, go to our website in our bio. It's go.flexwithdrj.com/apply. So I'll leave you always with how I leave the whole audience is that We only have one body, one life. Make every action you take be one that makes you a better version of you. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.